Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's take a quick look outside that weather window from today. And yeah, it was one of those days we did see some peaks at the sun. That did allow our temperature to rise, but when that sun was behind the clouds, it felt like fall out there today, didn't it? And the clouds made it look that way too. Few of those dark clouds could drop a little bit of light rain in parts of our area tonight, but for the most part, we'll stay dry before we cool down. And let's take a look at what could happen by Thursday morning. In fact, this could be Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. Some spots in our viewing area, some locations, could get down into the 30s for overnight lows beginning on Thursday and lasting right through the weekend. We will talk much more about our changing weather pattern coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Graffiti vandals have been busy, especially busy in the past 3 days, with Wenatchee Police responding to 8 reported graffiti incidents since Sunday. COVID-19 claimed 10 more lives in the month of September in Chelan and Douglas counties. A 36-year-old Moses Lake man has been sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for a drive-by shooting in 2019. And the main suspect in a 2020 drive-by shooting in Wenatchee pleaded guilty yesterday to first-degree assault. But first, our top story tonight. A 62-year-old Wenatchee woman had to be airlifted to Central Washington Hospital after a head-on collision yesterday morning on Highway 243 near Beverly. The Washington State Patrol said Linda D. Burtz was driving a 2014 Mazda CX-5 southbound at 6:05 a.m. when her vehicle drifted into the northbound lane and hit a 2018 Chevrolet Impala head-on. The extent of her injuries has not yet been released. The driver of the Impala, 28-year-old Joanna Ramirez Cruz of Mattawa, suffered a minor injury. After the head-on collision, a 2008 Subaru Legacy being driven northbound by 18-year-old Ojeda Yordi of Beverly struck Burt's vehicle. Yordi was not injured. The State Patrol said the accident remains under investigation and no citations have yet been issued. Well, graffiti vandals have been especially busy in the past 3 days, with Wenatchee Police responding to 8 reported graffiti incidents since Sunday, and the Chelan County Sheriff's Office taking 5 calls in Cashmere. Especially hard hit has been Okanagan Avenue area in South Wenatchee, where homes, fences, garage, utility boxes, and vehicles have been vandalized. Police use volunteer crews to remove graffiti as quickly as possible so others aren't encouraged to add to the damage done by those graffiti suspects. In other news, COVID-19 claimed 10 more lives in the month of September in Chelan and Douglas counties. That brings the total number of Wenatchee Valley residents lost to the virus to 111. The Chelan Douglas Health District says the victims were 8 men and 2 women, the oldest in their 80s, the youngest in their 50s. Chelan County residents accounted for 7 of the 10 deaths. September was among the worst months of the pandemic for local mortalities. Central Washington Hospital says 28 COVID-19 patients died in their care last month. Meanwhile, a 36-year-old Moses Lake man has been sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for a drive-by shooting in 2019. Rodolfo Ramirez Jr. had a prior felony record when he opened fire at a bystander on a Moses Lake street. He was already on supervised release for a past federal conviction of felon in possession of a firearm. Ramirez pleaded guilty in February to the drive-by and then in June pleaded guilty to his second federal firearm offense for possessing a handgun. He must now serve 108 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years on probation. The main suspect in a 2020 drive-by shooting in Wenatchee has pleaded guilty yesterday to first-degree assault. 21-year-old Alexander Lopez of Yakima could now face up to 10 years in prison. Wenatchee police say Lopez fired several shots from a .223 caliber rifle at another moving vehicle in the area of Douglas and Idaho streets, wounding 1 passenger. He's been jailed since the July 2020 incident. The driver of his vehicle, 27-year-old Juan Mendoza Rodriguez, was acquitted of wrongdoing by a Chelan County jury back in March. Prosecutors say they'll recommend Lopez receive a prison term of anywhere from 93 to 123 months when he's sentenced coming up in November. Well, coming up next, NCW Libraries announced this week it's embarking on a $10 million multi-year renovation of 28 of its branch libraries. The historic Wagner Ranch, which includes one of the largest continuous tracts of privately owned riverfront property in the Methow Valley, has moved one step closer to being permanently protected. And today marks 90 years since the legendary Miss Vidal did an historic belly flop in East Wenatchee. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Dr. Divis is proud to announce that Dr. Taylor Pedigo has joined the Wenatchee Dental Arts team. After much research, Dr. Pedigo chose Wenatchee Dental Arts as the place to practice and Wenatchee as the place to live. Dr. Pedigo is an honors graduate of the UCLA School of Dentistry and has made our valley his home. Wenatchee Dental Arts offers complete comprehensive dentistry from routine teeth cleaning to sedation dentistry. Wenatchee Dental Arts now offering 2 dentists to serve all your dental needs. Call for your appointment today.
At Wenatchee Power Sports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Power Sports.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Welcome back. In another news, NCW Libraries announced this week it's embarking on a $10 million multi-year renovation of 28 of its branch libraries. Local branches across the 5-county region are in line for improvements, including new interior spaces and meeting areas. The library system says leaders and library users in each community will be consulted about their needs and wants. The work will be done over the next 3 to 5 years in groups of 9 to 10 libraries at a time. Most library buildings are owned by the cities where they're located. The Wenatchee Public Library underwent an extensive $4.5 million remodel last year. Well, the historic Wagner Ranch, which includes one of the largest contiguous tracts of privately owned riverfront property in the Methow Valley, has moved one step closer to being permanently protected. When the 328-acre property first went on the market in 2018, the Western Rivers Conservancy purchased it for $3.3 million with the intent of finding a local guardian. Last week, that effort culminated in the sale of the property along the Chewuk River to the Methow Conservancy. The Chewuk River provides crucial habitat for Chinook salmon, steelhead, and bull trout. The Wagner Ranch is about 5 miles north of Winthrop and fronts more than 1.5 miles of the river. Today marks the 90 years since the legendary Miss Vidal did an historic belly flop in East Wenatchee. Hugh Herndon and Clyde Pangborn piloted the plane in the first non-stop flight from Misawa, Japan to the U.S. after dropping their landing gear in flight to reduce the plane's weight. They had to perform their landing without wheels. The feat secured the Miss Vidal's place in airplane history and put Clyde Pangborn's name on our local airport. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Please stay with us.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
A new novel is now available at Amazon.com. The title, Lost Treasure of the China Bar, details life on the Columbia River and Plateau during the 1800s. You ask, is the treasure still buried somewhere near Chelan? Find out by reading Lost Treasure of the China Bar.
Lost Treasure of the China Bar. Buy it on Amazon.com. $12.99 for paperback, $2.99 for Kindle. A great gift.
What is home? A place to gather, a place to grow, provide shelter for the ones we love, eat, drink, restore, build trust. It's a place to rest when the workday is done, a place to find quiet after a night of good fun. What an honor we have at Guild to help own, finance, create, pave the way to live in home.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. U.S. Forest Service employees have been sharing some of the spectacular fall colors they're currently encountering in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. In tonight's feature story, here's a sample of what they're seeing. Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast, and going back to that feature story, boy, fall is such a great time of year, isn't it, with just beautiful colors out there. You can even see it on our hillsides around the Wenatchee Valley as we look down from our cross camera up on Wenatchee Heights, and lots of cloudiness out there today. The Weather Service added just a 10% chance now for maybe a sprinkle or two overnight tonight. That'll go up to maybe about a 20% chance overnight, but not much chance for rain. It just looked and felt like fall out there today. Unofficially, 68 our high temperature. 67 is now our normal high, so just a tick above where we should be for this time of year. Started out at 52, 46 is our normal low. Record high is 80. That was set back in 1993. Record low 34 in 1974. Sunrise 7:06, and the sun will set now right around that 6:30 mark at 6:31. Let's take a peek at your Hump Day Wednesday weather forecast, and the biggest change for tomorrow will be much cooler temperatures. I think we'll see a little bit more sun too, but look at these highs. 63 Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. 62 the high in Wenatchee. About 60 in Leavenworth, and 62 the high temperature tomorrow in Chelan. So get ready for about a 10-day stretch of below normal temperatures, and we'll talk about that in a second. Right now, as we get to tonight, mostly cloudy skies. We'll see a light west breeze, but notice our airflow coming down from the northwest, and that's dragging all of that cooler air down from the Gulf of Alaska. So we do expect that to be our weather trend over the next several days. As I mentioned, a little more sun tomorrow. It will be cooler though, with high temperatures only in the lower 60s. And keep in mind the green 40s and 50s, the blue 30-degree temperatures, and we're going to see some of those as we make our way through this forecast. For Thursday, once again, we'll see some sun. It will be cool. High temperatures Thursday only around about 60 degrees, so it's going to be a cool one. Friday, partly cloudy skies, cool with temperatures in the lower 60s. And here is our next weather maker as it begins to come down from the Gulf of Alaska. We're not going to feel much of that on Friday or even most of Saturday, but we will see increasing clouds on Saturday because of this system, and some rain showers will begin to push into the northwest part of the state. High temperatures Saturday, low to mid 60s. As we get you into Sunday, good chance for rain, especially from the Wenatchee area west, and then it'll skip over us and start raining in the Spokane area. We're looking at highs Sunday only in the lower 60s. And for Monday, mostly cloudy skies. I think we could still see about a 30% chance of maybe a morning rain shower. It will stay cool. In fact, even cooler on Monday with high temperatures only in the upper 50s. And look at these 30s creeping down the Cascades. Those are high temperatures as we get into the first part of next week. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Tonight we'll get down to a fairly cool low of 44 degrees, mostly sunny and 62. Our first 30-degree overnight low in a long time. It could happen overnight on Wednesday, so those sensitive plants and some foliage you might have in your yard, might want to cover those up Wednesday night into Thursday. Same goes for Thursday night into Friday. We're going to stay cool these three overnights. 62 our high on Friday, 64 the high on Saturday, and then the clouds roll in. Sunday, a good chance for rain, at least a 50 to 60% chance of the wet stuff in 62. And on Monday, cloudy, a 40 to 30 to 40% chance of mainly morning showers. And look at those temperatures, 57 the high and 37 the overnight low. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's Sports Report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
I'm Wenatchee School Board member Maria Iniguez, and I understand that your tax dollars fund public education in our district. That is why I'm holding the district accountable for every dollar spent and have supported a balanced budget, because every community member should know how the district is using funds to support student achievement while maintaining long-term fiscal sustainability. Vote to retain me, Maria Iniguez, for Wenatchee School Board Position 2.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to NCWLIFE.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@NCWLIFE.com or call 888-2020.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper. I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. By the time the Wenatchee Wild start the BCHL hockey season this Saturday, it will have been 582 days since they last took the ice in a meaningful game. That's right, it was on March 6, 2020 that the Wild fell in Game 5 to the Vernon Vipers in the playoffs. Art Checker had the call.
So for the second year in a row, the Wenatchee Wild and Vernon Vipers will shake hands here on this ice surface. The Vipers will move on, and the Wild season comes to an end. As these players are going to come together and they fist bump, and there's just so much, all the chat about coronavirus, so nobody wants to shake hands. But they will roll through and bump fists at least. So the handshake line at center ice as the season comes to an end.
Yeah, strangely enough, it turned out to be not only the end of that series, but it was the end of the playoffs. There would be no BCHL championship. They were done for the 2020 season because of the shutdown due to COVID-19. Little did Wenatchee know the border closing the following season meant no season for the Wild last year. Head coach Chris Clark says there's no better way to get back into the swing of things than to head north to play a rival on Saturday.
I think that'll be a great night, obviously. Like you said, I didn't know it was that many days, but when you put that number out there, it's definitely been a lot, and no better way to get our feet back wet in the league by playing our biggest rival in the Penticton V's, and that'll be a great test and an exciting atmosphere, I know for sure.
Now let's take a look at the first part of the Wenatchee Wild's schedule. Now the border is still closed for land travel into the U.S., so the BCHL has arranged to fly teams to Seattle. The Wild will pick them up there, bring them to Wenatchee for games. The teams then can bus back into Canada. The Wild, meanwhile, will head to Canada on extended trips, such as what you see here. So Wenatchee will play 8 games north of the border before finally opening the home part of the schedule November 11th and 12th against West Kelowna. Well, turning our attention closer to home, we have high school soccer on the NCWLIFE channel coming up tonight. As a matter of fact, the Wenatchee Panthers host the Sunnyside Grizzlies at Lee Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl. I'll be alongside Matt Wisen with the call with our pregame beginning at 6:45. Also on the schedule today, Quincy travels to Omak while Tonasket hosts Bridgeport. Liberty Bell takes on Okanagan while Brewster's at Pateros. Coming up at 6, it's Ephrata at Grandview and Cascade hosting Chelan. The other 7 o'clock game besides Wenatchee and Sunnyside has Moses Lake on the road at Eisenhower. On the prep volleyball schedule for tonight, it's a busy one. Orville visits Liberty Bell. Etihad plays at Cascade Christian. It's Chelan at Cascade. Olmec hosting Quincy. Manson travels to Brewster, and Waterville Mansfield will host Pateras. Tonight at 7, it's Wenatchee and Sunnyside. Moses Lake hosts Eisenhower. Grandview plays at Ephrata, and Bridgeport takes on Soap Lake. Well, the Seahawks have a short week to turn around from a 28-21 win over San Francisco Sunday to face the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Coach Pete Carroll met with reporters Monday and was still in awe over the play of quarterback Russell Wilson.
When you take it out there, the first series, and you get dumped and you get sacked, and the second series again, and the third series again, I mean, it's a challenge to anybody in any endeavor. You know, how do you hang when when it starts that difficult and it looks bleak and all that? And he didn't even falter. He didn't waver. He hung right there and came back just like we know him always. Just did it again, and put together an excellent game for us. One of my favorite games because of that, the circumstances on the road, the crowd, all of that. The pass rush was roaring, and then after the first three, they didn't get him again. And when he needed to get out, he did. When he needed to scramble to throw it and win the game with a touchdown pass, he did it. So I was really proud of that outing and thought it was one of his classics. I thought it was really, to me, it's one of the real special ones.
The Rams are coming in off their first loss of the season Sunday night to Arizona and are 3-1. Seattle, meanwhile, 2-2. Kickoff on Fox Thursday night will be at 5:20. Should be an interesting one. Well, the Major League Baseball postseason begins tonight. I know, without our Seattle Mariners. The American League wildcard game is at Fenway Park tonight, where the Boston Red Sox are hosting the New York Yankees. Garrett Cole will get the start for New York. He is 16-8 with a 3.23 earned run average. Meanwhile, it's Nathan Eovaldi getting the start for Boston with a record of 11-9 to 3.75 ERA. That game underway now on ESPN. The National League wildcard game is tomorrow at Dodger Stadium between Los Angeles and St. Louis. And for a certain Dodger fan I know, he's thinking Los Angeles all the way. Right, Grant?
Got that right, Eric. 106 wins, and they have to play a wild card game. All right, let's recap tonight's top story now. A 62-year-old Wenatchee woman had to be airlifted to Central Washington Hospital after a head-on collision Monday morning on Highway 243 near Beverly. The Washington State Patrol said Linda D. Burtz was driving a 2014 Mazda southbound at 6:05 a.m. when her vehicle drifted into the northbound lane and hit a 2018 Chevrolet Impala head-on. The extent of her injuries has not yet been released. The driver of the Impala, 28-year-old Joanna Ramirez Cruz of Mattawa, suffered a minor injury. After the head-on collision, a 2008 Subaru Legacy being driven northbound by 18-year-old Ojeda Yordi of Beverly struck Burt's vehicle. Yordi was not injured. The State Patrol said the accident remains under investigation and no citations have yet been issued. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. On a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I'm super excited. I'll be here with bells on tomorrow morning celebrating that big Yankee victory that's anticipated tonight over the Red Sox in the American League wildcard game. We'll also have highlights of Wenatchee girls soccer. They're taking on Sunnyside tonight right here on the NCWLIFE channel. We'll have your latest weather forecast, as Grant mentioned. Again, get a little on the cool side, to say the least. Weather forecast, news, everything you need to start your day. You want to do it live and you want to do it local, and by golly, we fill both of those obligations with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. right here from Studio 4. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan, and go Red Sox. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at NCWLIFE.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@NCWLIFE.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.